a bit of a strange project to approach from a screenwriting perspective. I think just thinking about what we could actually achieve, specifically in a single day and the location that we had. When I started writing the script, I didn't have a location. I didn't really have a team of stunt professionals in the works. I had a few contacts that I had begun, I guess, starting a conversation with, but really it was just kind of an idea. And that idea was as simple as taking a hitman who's going to be field testing a new performance enhancer, and the job just goes bad. The idea that these guys usually take these performance enhancements that make them able to do what they do. What if one day one of those things went wrong? And I guess you could almost summarize the concept as, you know, even hitmen have bad days. Yeah, we're here at the iStunts, and we've got about 24 hours before we shoot, which is a little intimidating, but everyone here has just been incredibly professional, and yeah, we're just putting the last little fights together. We've begun thinking about how to do more fights, less developed, but it allows us to kind of beef out the narrative of the whole scene and do a little bit more controlled fights sporadically through the film that may actually work better for the narrative as a whole.
I looked at the story and I read it, and then I had to build a fight that matches this character. So I can't do anything The Matrix or do anything different. I needed to see who this character is and what's his fighting style and what the story is about. To be a fight choreographer, you need to have a big imagination. It's kind of, how can I say, sick at the same time, because you're thinking of how to kill somebody. So that's the sick side of it, but it's also the fun side of it, but you have to be very creative.
Well, we chose a team, and every member of the team has their own kind of specific abilities, their own kind of elements that they're stronger with, and we really wanted to showcase those. So in building the previs, I think with each of the individuals, we tried to focus predominantly on basing their fight on their strengths.
Okay. Take two. Okay, today we are working on Matt's fight. Matt is the kicker. He's like, he's very skilled with his legs. Every fight that I'm doing in the story, every opponent that I'm facing is different. So we're just trying to tell the story with each fight and to try to make it original. And yeah, I mean, Matt.
Yeah, got some really cool ideas to make it as gruesome as possible.
Yeah.
So I think like the end of this fight is quite cool. It's really gruesome, kind of like tough.
You look at your environment. You, for example, you would do the previs in the gym with matting floor. You will be in your most comfortable clothes. And when you look at the location, it's completely different.
The location that we filmed at was actually very cool. It was this abandoned warehouse. It used to be an abattoir back, I don't know how long ago, but I think it's now government facility space. But abandoned, old, falling apart, very concrete, great sharp lines, filthy as all hell, but in a good way. The dust everywhere. It was definitely well used, good old, scary concrete warehouse feel to it, which was a good place.
Kind of like a Matrix, grungy, it was brilliant. So many rooms and corridors and so much you can do with the lighting, an absolute gold find.
As a cinematic backdrop, you know, you couldn't have asked for a better location for a type of film like this, just because it allowed us to we didn't even really have to think about set dressing. You know, all the pieces were there. I think it suited our needs perfectly. And really, you know, we started talking about how do we make this work with the story, and I think really it was coming up with a story that was very clear, but again flexible, so that when we came into that location, we could think, okay, how do we actually make this work?
We are now setting up for the interrogation shot, which is going to be the first actual combat scene. Yeah, so this is now where we get down to the gritty stuff. Are you still filming me? I need a poo. Rather than favorite scene, I would say a lot of favorite moments that were captured throughout the whole production. I mean, if I had to say my favorite scene, one that I'm in, obviously, but a lot of great moments. I mean, the beginning of the interrogation was really cool. Kind of set the tone, also kind of gave us some insight into the enhancement and the downside of the enhancement that he was facing, which is how he was captured in the first place.
I think my favorite scene would have to be shooting in the hallway. That hallway, I think, is just really spectacular and visceral. I mean, you're getting these beams of light that are coming through as much as you're getting these beams of shadows, and that is something that I thought would be quite unique for the fight scenes. You're having these characters like moving in and out of the shadows. It's these really intriguing layers to kind of play with.
Yeah. You sure this is enough, Matt? You couldn't pay me $1 million to do this. This is like, okay, you sure? I trust you guys. Alright, I'm set, going for a take. Camera up. And action!
Where I kick Marlon in the face and where he does a flat back. I just love the way it came out. He just went really hard. I was like, oh shit, this fucking looks good.
Like when you're in a fight and you block with your head. With this specific shoot, we kept it really safe. There were no stunts per se. We were just doing fight scene. A couple of guys hit the deck doing flatbacks, but we had our protective gear on. So it was a really, really safe job as far as elements like that go.
That's the thing about stunts. Stunts. Don't do it at home.
And then the final scene with Bronwyn and Tony, catching the lighting coming into the room, those were amazing shots. I think they're going to look really great on camera.
Well, the ending scene, which is kind of the big one that I get involved in, because it starts with me just in the background, and then in the end, the big boss turns and decides he's going to take on our hero and gets super hyped up and then just gets one shot punched in the face. I thought that was hilarious. Come on! And it was just so perfect, that setup, that kind of Indiana Jones feel where it's like epic battle takeout and one pow. Thanks for coming. That was the fun one to watch.
Was the electric room, where we had these large windows that just let this light in so beautifully, especially at the end of the day. and just using the natural light as well. Like it just, everything about the location just really was just amazing.
We have the story first and we say, how can the fight work with the story itself? So we kind of said, okay, this person's come in, she's now superpowered, you're also superpowered, but you're tired. So how do we introduce it? So with one big hit. It was such a cool day, such a cool week of working out fights, amazing team, amazing fun concept, and I enjoyed how we undermined expectations and played around and used the comedy and the action in that way, and I'm very excited to see what it looks like, because all the little bits that I saw just looking over the cameraman's shoulder and stuff, the style and the feel and the kind of dark, grungy aspect, I think it's gonna look amazing. So I can't wait to see it.
No, it's funny, like if I'm thinking about insights, if I'm ever looking back at a project that I've shot, you know, there's such a wealth of knowledge that comes from it. One of the best lessons that I think like anyone can take is like, well, if you want to make a movie, you've got to make a movie. Like, you know, it's just getting out there, kind of throwing yourself into the scariest, most vulnerable position, knowing that you will fail. Like, you will fail in some regards. You know, it could be the whole project, it could be a part of the project, it could be a small part of the project. But the idea of just throwing yourself into something dangerous is the only way that you can actually like make something.